I know student loans aren't the favorite topic of everybody's discussion. However, more often than not, families need to rely on taking out student loans that their children can get to school. One student loan that has garnered a lot of attention and is the cause of some division are Parent Plus loans. Today, we're going to cover the pros and the cons of Parent Plus loans and who they're right for and what strategy you should use if you're planning to take out a loan. Let's start with some of the basics of the Parent Plus loan. For starters, a Parent Plus loan is issued by the Department of Education directly through the federal government. These loans are issued solely in the name of parents. In other words, you won't have the child on as the primary borrower and you're the co-signer. The loan is solely going to be in the name of the parent. In order to qualify for a Parent Plus loan, you must pass a basic credit check. Now, this credit check is not like the more strict ones that you may see if you're applying for a private loan. There's a couple criteria which must be met. The first one is that you can't have accounts that are greater than $2,085 that have been showing up on a credit report as delinquent for more than 90 days. The second is that you can't have a default determination on the credit report that has been showing up within the last 5 years. The third is that you can't have a bankruptcy discharge preceding the credit report within those 5 years. You also can't either have a foreclosure, a wage garnishment, or a repossession within the last 5 years as well. Lastly, you can't have either a tax lien or a charge-off/write-off of a federal student loan within the last 5 years. Assuming you meet these criteria, you should be eligible for a Parent Plus loan. In terms of the repayment can either start 60 days after you take out the loan, or if your child is still in school, you can go into forbearance and then wait at least 6 months after the child graduates before you have to start paying on the loans. Some of the options to pay back your Parent Plus loan include the standard repayment, the extended repayment, graduated, and the income contingent repayment plan. We're going to talk more in another video about the income contingent repayment plan and some things that you can do with that to actually lower the monthly payment in which you have, and that will allow you to potentially qualify for public service loan forgiveness in a very efficient way, saving a lot of money down the road. Let's talk through 3 benefits of the Parent Plus loan that are available. The first one is exactly that, availability. Assuming you're able to get past the initial credit check, you're eligible to borrow all the way up to the full cost of attendance for Parent Plus loans. This is something that can bridge the gap quite significantly for students who do need to get to school and there's no other way to pay. The second advantage that you can take while taking out a Parent Plus loan is the fact that they are a fixed interest rate. That fixed interest rate can really play a big role when you're in a rising interest rate environment. Now, the fixed interest rate is going to be a little bit higher compared to some of the other loans that are eligible directly through the federal government. So while it is an advantage, it can also be a disadvantage. A lot of it just does depend on the interest rate environment. The last advantage, as I see it, and I think the most significant one, is that it's twofold. The fact that, number one, there can be some flexible repayment options, specifically that income contingent option that's available to you. And it's also available for public service loan forgiveness. You or your spouse are working for an employer who is eligible for that public service loan forgiveness. Parent Plus loans can be an option, and it is something that should be explored. Now that we covered the positives, let's talk through some of the negatives of Parent Plus loans. Number one, Parent Plus loans have an origination fee. Origination fees are no longer very common. However, what that means is by you taking out a Parent Plus loan, immediately you tack on to the principal of that loan on day one. Currently, Parent Plus loans have an origination fee of 4.228%, which means for every $10,000 that you take out, $422.80 is immediately tacked on to the loan from day one. So if you're going to be taking out these loans, it's not just the interest that you need to be aware of, but it's also the origination fee. The second big disadvantage is also something that I previously talked about potentially being an advantage. It's the availability of them. There's really not a strict underwriting process for a student or a parent to take out a Parent Plus loan. As a result, that Parent Plus loan can be taken up all the way to the full cost of attendance. Normally, if you apply for a mortgage, a car loan, or any type of bank loan, there's going to be an underwriting process, and they're going to want to make sure that you have the ability to repay that loan. However, with a Parent Plus loan, the level of underwriting just isn't quite what it would be at a bank. So while yes, you can qualify for a loan much easier, that's not necessarily a good thing. We've often seen the case where parents will take out these Parent Plus loans and it becomes very hard to pay back. It becomes an albatross when they're trying to plan for both retirement and for college. So if you're going to be taking out these loans, you need to be aware of what the repayment will be once you enter into that period of repayment. Generally speaking, I think Parent Plus loans can make sense for two types of people. Number one would be people who are looking to take advantage of the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. Again, it's not right for every single person who works in public service, but under certain circumstances, if you can plan ahead, it could make sense to enroll into a Parent Plus loan and be subject then to get that Public Service Loan Forgiveness. The other set of people that I think it could make sense for is people who have a small bridge to gap in terms of the loans that need to be taken out. If you have a sizable amount in which you need to take out, while you can take out a Parent Plus loan, it doesn't necessarily mean that you should. It could disrupt retirement in that case. However, if you have a smaller gap in which you need to close, and the best bet is to go the Parent Plus loan route, it's not the end of the world if you take out a Parent Plus loan. The question is there a better alternative? You should also be looking at private loans which can offer lower interest rates and don't have an origination fee. Now, you would have to be a co-signer on those loans more often than not, but those loans can also be in the student's name, which could give them a little bit more skin in the game. There are also loans that are out there that are just solely in the parent's name, which you might be able to take advantage of through state agencies. It's not necessarily the Department of Education that's the only one that can offer these types of loans. Regardless, you should be doing your homework and making sure that you're taking the correct loans out for you and your situation. As always, if you have specific questions with this, you should be reaching out to your advisors, whether that be your tax accountant or your financial planner. The information that we cover here today is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as specific advice. If you do have any other questions that you'd like to reach out to me personally, please feel free to do so or comment on this video. If you found this to be useful, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And we'll be covering some more information on Parent Plus loans and how to pay for college in general.